Years have passed. She's sitting in a quiet cafe on a rainy afternoon, scrolling through her phone, when a familiar scent, old leather, faint cologne, and rain hits her. Suddenly, she's not in the present anymore. She's back in that moment with him, the one who didn't chase, didn't beg, didn't crumble, the one who simply was. Her heart tightens for a second, a mix of warmth and ache, before she smiles softly to herself and whispers under her breath, "I never forgot him." That man, he wasn't perfect. He wasn't the loudest in the room or the richest, but he carried something ancient inside him, stoic fire tempered by calm waters. Women don't remember the guys who performed. They remember the ones who left an imprint on their soul. And today, through stories, real wisdom from Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, and raw human moments, I'm going to show you exactly how that happens. Let's step into the life of a man named Alex. Not a hero from a book, but someone you could be. Someone whose journey will pull you in and refuse to let go until the very last word. By the end, you'll see why certain men linger forever. Not because they tried harder, but because they lived differently. The night everything changed. It was a stormy evening in the city. Alex had just turned 30. His relationship with Sarah was unraveling. Not with screaming matches, but with that slow, painful drift, where conversations die and silences grow heavy. She had started seeing other possibilities, flirting with the idea of leaving. Most men would have panicked. They would have texted endlessly, promised the world, or tried to guilt her into staying. Alex didn't. He sat across from her in their small apartment, the rain hammering the windows like impatient fingers. She told him she felt lost, that she needed space. His face stayed steady. No clenched jaw, no desperate eyes. Just a quiet nod. "I understand," he said, voice even. "Take the time you need." Inside, his mind raced. Fear, anger, love, all swirling like the storm outside. But he remembered the words of Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. He breathed. He chose calm. That was the first thing. The man who masters his emotions. Sarah expected explosion or collapse. What she got was a mountain, unshaken. In that moment, something shifted in her. She saw a man who didn't let the waves control him. He navigated them. Stoics call this apatheia, not cold indifference, but freedom from being ruled by passions. Alex had spent months practicing it. Morning meditations where he visualized worst-case scenarios and chose his response anyway, journaling his triggers, training his body so his mind could follow. Weeks later, when they met again, she confessed, "I kept thinking about how you stayed so calm. It scared me at first. Then it stayed with me." Women never forget the man who controls his emotions, because in a world of chaos, work stress, family drama, social media noise, he becomes her anchor. Not by suppressing feelings, that leads to explosion later, but by feeling them fully and choosing wisely. Picture Alex on another night, months earlier. His boss had publicly humiliated him in a meeting. Promotions passed him by. Old Alex would have raged, drunk too much, taken it out on Sarah. New Alex went for a long walk, felt the anger burn, then asked himself, "What can I control here?" He focused on his craft, improved his skills in silence. When Sarah saw him come home composed, smiling even, she felt safe in a way no flowers or apologies could create. That calm radiates. It says, "I can handle life. I can handle you at your worst." And once a woman feels that, It etches into her memory like stone.
The power of presence. Alex wasn't always like this. Years before, he was the guy who dominated conversations. Funny stories, loud laughs, always ready with advice. He thought that made him interesting. Sarah would smile politely, but her eyes drifted. One evening, after a particularly long monologue from him about his day, she sighed. "Sometimes I just want you to hear me." That hit him. He started studying the Stoics more deeply. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Alex realized listening was strength. The man who listens more than he speaks. He began practicing. On their next date, instead of filling silences, he asked questions and truly waited for answers. No interrupting, no planning his reply, just presence.
Sarah talked about her fears at work, the pressure to be perfect, the quiet loneliness she felt even in crowds. Alex listened like her words were the most important thing in his world. He nodded, asked gentle follow-ups. "What does that feel like for you? When did you first notice that?" Her shoulders relaxed. Tears came. For the first time, she felt seen. Not fixed, not advised, just witnessed. Women remember this man because most guys listen to respond, to impress, or to solve. The Stoic listens to understand. He gives her the rare gift of being fully heard in a noisy world. That creates intimacy deeper than any physical touch. Think of a late-night conversation months later. Sarah was venting about her family. Alex sat on the couch, phone away, eyes on her. "No, you should do this." Just space. When she finished, he said softly, "That sounds incredibly heavy. I'm here with you." She curled into him, whispering, "No one's ever just let me be."
Years afterward, in new relationships, she would catch herself comparing. He listened, but not like Alex did. That memory lingered, warm and irreplaceable. The grace of letting go. The breakup came eventually. Not dramatic, mutual, painful, but honest. Sarah said she needed to find herself. Most men beg, bargain, or turn bitter. Alex stood up, looked her in the eyes, and said, "I wish you peace on your journey. I'll be working on mine." No final dramatic texts, no social media jabs. He walked away with dignity. The man who walks away in peace. This one cuts deep. Women test boundaries, sometimes pull away to see if you'll chase. The Stoic doesn't. He knows his worth isn't in her validation. Seneca taught, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Alex imagined the pain, accepted it, and chose not to amplify it with desperation. He blocked the urge to check her profiles, focused on his routines, gym, reading, building his business. Friends asked how he was so okay. "Because I controlled what I could," he replied. Sarah dated others. Fun at first, exciting, but those men chased. They texted too much, got jealous, crumbled. In quiet moments, she remembered Alex's calm exit. No drama, just respect for himself and for her choice. One rainy evening, she almost texted him. Stopped herself. But the memory stayed. The man who loved her enough to let her go without turning it ugly. That grace? Unforgettable. Stoicism teaches amor fati, love of fate. Alex embraced it. What happened, happened. His peace in walking away showed her true strength. Isn't possession, it's freedom. A life bigger than romance. While with Sarah, Alex had his mission. He was building a small tech startup focused on helping people manage stress. Ironic, given his own journey. Late nights coding, early mornings reading philosophy. He didn't cancel plans with her for it, but he didn't drop everything either. The man who lives for a mission greater than her. Sarah felt it. He enjoyed her company deeply, but she wasn't his everything. That freed her. No pressure to be his savior or source of happiness. She admired it. Marcus Aurelius ran an empire, yet wrote daily about virtue. He had duties beyond any one person. Alex embodied that. On weekends, he volunteered at a youth center teaching resilience. Sarah joined once and watched him light up, not performing, but purposeful. Women never forget this because it signals depth. A man with a mission isn't needy. He chooses her from abundance, not emptiness. That choice feels profound. When they broke up, Alex didn't fall apart. His mission carried him. She saw updates, his startup growing, helping real people. Pride mixed with that old ache. He was always becoming more, she thought. The quiet strength that calms storms. Life threw more at Alex after the breakup. Business setbacks, family health scares. He faced them with the same steady presence. The man who radiates calm. Sarah heard through mutual friends. Part of her wondered if he was faking it. But no, he genuinely carried inner peace. Stoics practice premeditatio malorum, premeditating evils. Alex visualized losses and practiced responding with virtue. It built unbreakable calm. Imagine her bumping into him at a park years later. He smiled genuinely, asked about her life without bitterness or overeagerness. His energy was light, grounded. She left feeling steadier herself, as if his calm was contagious. That's the power. Women remember the man whose presence lowers their stress, whose vibe says, the world is heavy, but I'm not. The freedom in forgiveness. The final piece came when old wounds surfaced. Sarah had hurt him during the breakup. Harsh words, a rebound she threw in his face indirectly. Many men hold grudges, weaponize pain later. Alex chose otherwise. The man who forgives without bitterness. One day he wrote her a short note, not to rekindle, but to release. I've thought about our time. I forgive the hard parts. Wish you light. No expectation of reply. Epictetus. Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen. Alex released resentment. It freed him, and unknowingly, it gave Sarah closure. She read it late at night, tears flowing. The man who could forgive, that healed something in her too. Years on, when life hurt her, she remembered his grace and tried to mirror it. Forgiveness isn't weakness. It's ultimate strength. Women feel it. It shows a heart vast enough to hold pain without being poisoned by it. Weaving it all together. The unforgettable man. Alex's story isn't fantasy. It's what Stoicism makes possible. These 6 things, emotional mastery, deep listening, peaceful departure, purposeful living, radiant calm, and generous forgiveness, aren't tactics. They're a way of being. Think back to that cafe scene. Sarah, now in her new life, still carries pieces of Alex. Not because he was flashy, but because he showed her what a man anchored in virtue looks like. She dates, she lives, but certain quiet moments bring him back. The way he listened, the peace in his goodbye, the fire in his eyes for his mission. You can be that man. Start small. Tomorrow morning, sit quietly for 10 minutes. Reflect on what you can control. Practice listening fully in your next conversation. No phone, no agenda. When conflict comes, pause before reacting. Build your mission daily, even in tiny steps. Forgive one old grudge. Walk away from one thing draining your peace. The transformation compounds. Women sense it. Friends sense it. The world senses it. But more importantly, you become unforgettable. To yourself first. As Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. The rain keeps falling outside that cafe. Sarah finishes her coffee, stands up, and steps into the world a little stronger because of the man who did these 6 things. And somewhere, Alex walks his path. Calm, purposeful, free. He doesn't need to be remembered, but he is. Because women never forget a man who lives like this. They carry him in the way they expect better from themselves and others, in the standards they set, in the quiet smiles on rainy days. Now it's your turn. The storm is always coming. How will you face it? Stay stoic, stay strong, and become the man she never forgets.